Hallelujah, all my New South Empire and wonderful and fantastic fun family of winners. It's your winner, Fitz you Sergio Phoebus Huff. That's right. I'm here on the Winners Podcast, produced by my publicist, Starman Films Management Group, showing stocks and engineered by Sawyer Akins. Y'all know what time it is. I got the best panel in the world. I honestly feel that way. I have Mr. Michael Lee Buie, multiple award winning producer, director, filmmaker, photographer, and cinematographer. We also have, y'all know who that is over there. That's Mr. Hawthorne James, uh, from the movie Five Heartbeats, Speed, so many more, many blockbusters. Then we got Miss Philanthropist, entrepreneur, model, actress, Keiana Ráe, and we also have activist strategist, political activist strategist, Mr. Samuel Blue. With that being said, I'm not gonna let them introduce themselves because they're gonna give y'all a bunch of nothing. So anyway, today they gonna get fat. They gonna get fat eating humble pie. Y'all know I told y'all last time. So anyway, I'm gonna give them their flowers now. Today's topic is our thoughts and views on this past Tuesday's presidential election debate. I want each and every one of you guys to, first of all, let's start. Even though God created Adam first, we're going to start with Keiana Ráe. And we're going to ask you, what was the main thing that knocked you off your feet? Like, this is so crazy about that debate.
Well, what knocked me off my feet was how it was emotion based. Their EQ, well, Trump's EQ was low, and Kamala seen it, and she was able to capitalize on it. She really outwitted him at marker 3722 on the NBC while NBC was covering it. Kamala was asked about her stance on her policies, which she never gave an answer. She started going down this long list of things that didn't pertain to it, and it just was a lot of that going on throughout the whole debate. A lot of questions not being answered. So just not no clarity really. It was just emotions.
I hear you. You bad girl. You bad girl. You say marker 3732. What? Where did he do that at? Okay, now next, Mr. Hawthorne James, what knocked you off your feet?
Well, y'all have to forgive me, but everybody probably saw the debate more than I did because I had to take puke breaks every once in a while. So it was just like, if you don't know by now who these people are, and they're not giving you anything but platitudes, so it really didn't make a bunch of difference to me. I mean, it was so vanilla. Answer a question every once in a while. Somebody answer a damn question. What's your policy? How you gonna get rid of the Middle East? How you gonna stop that killing? How much more money you want to give to the Israelis? How much more money you want to give to Ukraine, et cetera, et cetera? But nobody answered any questions. And one specific, which we'll get into later, I'll say that. I'll save that for later because that one's a real big one for me.
I concur. But make sure we get into that one. Okay, Mr. Blue. Turn your mic on, Blue.
I apologize. My main thing were the moderators. I was kind of shocked how much they didn't control, I guess, the flow. Get either of the candidates in line as far as to answer those questions, because I feel that's the moderator's job to make sure the candidate is addressing the actual question that they ask. So I think that right there kind of led into the tailspin of the emotion, it was basically the debate didn't move the needle either way for any candidate, in my opinion.
I agree. I concur because I could have did better than them because I'll cut your ass off and overtalk you in a heartbeat. Y'all already know that. Hey, Coach Buie.
I find those observations interesting. I thought that you said what really knocked me off my feet and shocked me and really hit me was when I heard that the Haitians are eating dogs and eating your neighbor's pets. That really knocked me off my feet as far as coming from Trump. As far as Kamala Harris, I mean, I heard policy. I heard conversation about giving families tax breaks so that they could have new homes. It was easier to get new homes to start families. I heard conversation about if Congress were to give her the policy to reenact Roe v. Wade, that she would do that. I heard that she supported Israel. At the same time, she does not support irresponsible killing of Gazans, and that they are negotiating even now, negotiating as hard as they can to get Netanyahu to the Hamas to negotiate a ceasefire. I mean, I heard policy mostly from Kamala Harris' side. I heard a lot of name calling and it's terrible and it's the worst ever kind of conversation from Trump. So that's what I heard.
I kind of concur a little bit with you, but Coach, for my rebuttal, okay, would you agree that
are you moderating or are you a panelist?
I have an outline right here to bring up, and my observation is that Kamala. Would you agree that Kamala? Am I saying it right?
Kamala. It's like a comma. You say comma, okay. La.
All right, Kamala. All right. The very first question, you remember the very first question was, is the economy better now since you've been vice president? Will you agree that she totally didn't answer that question?
Well, I agree that she went straight to what she would do to make it better. What she did was give the message that she wanted to give was, this is what I would do to make the economy better. These are my plans for the economy. Saying, oh, yeah, no, the economy is not better. I mean, we can debate that all night. For instance, she could have said that we have the best economy after the world. We have bounced back better than anybody else in the whole world after the COVID-19 pandemic. She could have said that, and then Trump could have come back and said, well, grocery prices are high. Where they can say, well, we brought inflation down. It's the lowest it's been now. I mean, they could go back and forth with that, but what she did was she came with policies. She came out and said what she would do to make it better. She's saying that we got more work to do, and this is what I want to do moving forward. I don't see why people have a problem with that. That's the message that, to me, people want to hear. That are trying to decide which way or the other. Now, if you already set on Trump, you don't want to hear it. It was no good to you. You saw no reason for what happened. If you only want her, then you're gonna love what she had to say. So, I understand that.
Okay. Would you like to rebut, Keiana?
When it comes to Kamala, she definitely she had it down. It was as if she was reciting something she had already worked on. So when she deferred her answer to questions, she'd go back to when I was young. My mother worked hard, and I can say it verbatim. Let's see. She said, "My mother worked very hard. She raised me and my sister and bought us our home. She brought up her best friend having a situation happen to her. Then she went on another tangent about something else, but she never gave a clear." Nothing really clear on certain policies. She was really saying what people wanted to hear, kind of like Mr. Buie was saying, like what people wanted to hear so that they could be swayed here or there. I mean, her stance is on, she said that her values had not changed right around, like I said, the 37-minute mark when she was asked by Lindsay what her stance was on policies. She said that her values hadn't changed, but of course she's flip-flopped on a lot of those policies. And so she's not standing firm. She's basically doing what she needs to do to get the win.
Mr. James?
Well, you know, it's like what Michael was saying. I've heard every politician since I was 16, 15 years old say the same stuff. But there's no specifics. Yes, we want to make sure that children have something to eat. Yes, we want to make sure that how you gonna bring what's your plan to bring down the interest rate specifically? What's your plan to make sure that children have bread on the table? Give me the specifics of it. I've heard every politician say the same old stuff. And none of them actually do anything to make the world a better place. I know that you're going to continue the same policies that you have, especially with the Middle East. I am so sick of everybody always talking about the world started on October 7th. This has been going on since the turn of the century, since mid 1900s, when England made deals with Israeli, with Jewish people. What are we going to do to stop this nonsense? That's all I care about. And neither one of them gave a clue as to what they really are going to do.
I concur. I also feel that Kamala also was like playing on the heartstrings of America, especially the middle class, by, you know, bringing up family orientation and stuff like that. And even I felt like she was accusing Trump of not being human or family oriented just because he was rich. She kept making a statement about a silver spoon and about how much she was counting his money. Mr. Blue.
I agree with a lot of things that, most of the people on the panel said. I just don't think that, again, as I said before, the moderators just let it get out of control. Kamala was very good at baiting Trump into things, like when she would mention, as one example, she would mention, I implore someone to go to one of his rallies, and you'll see halfway through that half the people are leaving. Well, that made, that got up under his skin, where he began to talk about the size of the rallies and that nobody leaves. So she was definitely being locked down for all that time to prep. I don't think she was necessarily prepping to explain what her policies were. She was basically prepping, the game plan to get under his skin and allow him not to press her on policies. And, I'll close that by saying that when she was asked about were people better 4 years ago versus now, she did dodge it, but then she mentioned that she wants to create a opportunity economy, which is fine, but she never explained what that was. And that's what a lot of people would state that, when they interviewed the independents after on C-SPAN, on NPR, literally all the voters that they polled they all said the same thing. They literally said that I was looking for her to say, explain what certain things were, and she didn't do that.
Coach, you wanna?
Boy, I got a lot of rebuttal across that whole nine right there. As far as flip-flopping is concerned, the big thing they always bring up is about fracking. So Kamala Harris has said it over and over again. What it means when she says that her values have not changed, she believes in climate change. She believes that it is a thing, unlike a lot of Republicans that won't admit that climate change is a thing. So she was against fracking initially, but when she became knowledgeable about the extent of fracking and how that it can be offset by other green energy pieces, and also our ability to get off of foreign oil and rely on ourselves, because they have opened up a lot of oil drilling right here in the United States. She moderated her views about the fracking because she knows that it affects people, economy in those places where it helps people economically. So moderating your views when you come into a knowledge of things is not a bad thing. It's a sign of leadership. People like Trump, who will not change, oh, I can do no wrong, oh, I don't make mistakes, or that wasn't me. That is not leadership. A leader knows how to admit when they need to moderate their views for the good of the country. Talking about family, Kamala Harris is introducing herself to people that don't know her. That is what she's doing. It's not some cynical attempt to pull on somebody's heartstrings. She's trying to let people know who she is. That she worked in a McDonald's like a lot of people did when they were growing up. Most people don't have parents that gave them millions of dollars to start a business and bankrupt themselves 5 or 6 times and give them more money. That's the contrast that she was drawing. No single president can control interest rates. The Fed controls or moderates interest rates. When they see that inflation is rising, they increase interest rates so that they can try to fight the inflation because the economy is hot. This has been lessons that have been learned for scores of years on how to keep us from going into a depression. And then once the economy cools down, then they start to lower the interest rates so it's not such a burden on people. But it's the way the Fed does it. The president has nothing to do with it, how interest rates go up and down. That's the Fed. All right.
Okay.
Moderators out. Let me finish. I'm not done. Well,
go ahead,
moderators out of control. I think the moderators did a good job. They gave the people their time limit. If the people went off track, they let both of them talk about. They put the question out there, and if the people they can't just keep saying ask a question, ask a question, ask a question. People are gonna say what they want to. Even Trump was going off. He kept going back to immigrants, which was totally off topic. He wasn't even trying to skirt around the issue. He just abandoned the issue. Yes, Kamala saw how to get under his skin, but to me, it wasn't about avoiding questions. It was about showing people that he has a temperament. She has a temperament. Who has the best temperament to lead a country? She showed a command of herself. He showed that he can be manipulated. He can be manipulated by Putin, by Orban, his buddies, by North Korea. That's what she was showing. And didn't explain the opportunity economy. I just went through earlier with some of the things she talked about how she would help families, about how she would help young people that have a child. There's a number of things, and she covered a lot of these things during the convention. If you listen to what she had to say, and it's all over the internet. I could find dozens of policies between Democrats and Kamala Harris on what she plans to do moving forward.
All right.
So I'm done.